think I've made a mistake. I have broken 2 rules. I usually from BCA only buy assured cars, not essential, and I've also bought a BMW, which the amount of issues I've had with BMWs, I told myself I wouldn't buy them anymore. I just have so many major issues with them that I've decided. But this one is very cheap, and if you don't know the difference between an essential check and an assured check with BCA, essentially the easiest way to break it down is assured. I've got some comeback. For this one, as you'll see on the screen, it's all green. It runs, it drives, it goes in gear, but if I get there and I can't get it in first gear, they'll just give me my money back with assured cars. Essential, they'll just be like, oh, sorry. So it's not really worth the paper it's written on. So essentially, this might as well have no report. This is a very cheap BMW 3 Series, and I don't know loads about BMWs, I'll be honest. I just know they cause me too many headaches, but it's white, M Sport. It's a 318D, but it's a 2 litre. Maybe the 320D is probably the more popular one, but it's white with black leather that's heated as well. Heated leather, which is quite a rare option, I think. Well, hammer price was $3,200 for it. It's done 138,000 miles, which is way higher than I normally do, but I saw it and I just thought I'd chuck a really cheap bid on it. It says it's worth around $6,500, so there's plenty of margin. We thought we'd bring you along because I genuinely think I'm not making it home. This is from UK CGR Trade. So the vendor, the people who put it in auction, are We Buy Any Car, but it's We Buy Any Car Trade, which is the worst because a dealer's put it to We Buy Any Car, which means it must be really bad, because otherwise they would have retailed it themselves or part X'd it out to another dealer they know. So if I'm gonna guess, it stinks of smoke and timing chain rattle. That's gonna be my guess. So I guess you're gonna see us pick it up, but we'll film everything from when I first start it to, you know, apparently there's no lights on the dash. Everything should be able to just get in and drive it. It's grade 3, so it's not too bad. I think there's a tiny mark on the front bumper you can get painted. Will I retail this? I'd like to, if it drives well and everything is actually good with it, but I think the chances, I reckon we've got a solid 50-50 chance of I'm making it home, like genuinely. So yeah, I guess we'll find out how good or bad it is. So see you when we're at the car. Right, so we're in it. I've got one thing wrong. It doesn't smell of smoke. The second thing, will it have time? I don't know why I put the seat on. Let's see if it'll actually start. No timing chain rattle. Wait. Seems all right. I think the only light on the dash I can see is for seatbelts. Put your seatbelt. Do I look like every BMW driver ever? And then they drive like that, and then they crash it into a random. Right, let's see what the clutch is like. God, Lewis, that feels all right. Holy f***. This might be okay. But I mean, we've still got the overheating and all the other things that could go wrong. AC works as well, that's cold. So far, so good. Right, we are leaving BCA in the BMW 3 Series. How do I get out of there? This way, let's go this way. I'll be honest, I shouldn't have been so negative, I think, you know, it's been idling now for, gotta be 25 minutes, so we're setting up the GoPros and the mics, maybe half hour. It's not overheating. It drove to this car park at least fine. I did use all the gears, but only just. So this will be my first impressions on how it drives. I already know it drives in a straight line and doesn't pull, and the steering wheel's straight. I got this with 4 services on the ECU. It says ECU service held history. It's actually got 6, and it was recently serviced 137,500, so about 700 miles ago. I normally say in the boot, if you open the boot, there's like the tow bars out, and obviously it was broken down at one point, which is a lot of, like, that happens 5 times out of 10. And then they find their way here. This actually came from, judging by the history I've looked through quickly, from BMW, hence the UK CGR Trade, but you never know if that's like an independent dealer or if it's like a big main dealer. I have a feeling it has a very recent receipt at the same time they serviced it for, actually it was less than a month ago, like literally 25 days ago, for an EGR valve that was stuck, and she spent 1,200 quid on it. And then I assume she just thought, oh, this, I'll buy a new BMW, or she bought a different car. I say it drives straight. The steering wheel's not straight at all, but nothing tracking can't sort out. But it drives nice when you let go of the steering wheel. Seems to be all right. It pulls okay. And I did a little pull earlier. So it's got more service history than it said. The condition of the car is okay. It's grade 3. It looks pretty good. The wheels are absolutely f***ed in the front. The rears are okay. Oh, there you go. It pulls well. I don't know if it's smoking. Doesn't seem like it. I'm going to just mute the mirrors. I think this is supposedly got 140 horsepower or around there. Feels all right. Shouldn't have been so negative. Seems all right. Obviously, it can probably overheat now, I've said it, because it's driving up to temp now rather than idling. But we shall see. Got some fuel in it. The triangle on the dash, I figured out what that was. It's for a light. A bulb's out. So that was the only thing that was concerning me. The heated seats are working. The sat-nav works. Seems alright. Drives nice. There is a bit of an anti-roll bar link noise and also some squeaking. So maybe some suspension work to be done. But yeah, I mean, for 138,000 miles, there are cleaner cars with higher mileage. Like my Mercedes is fine. There's not really, you would never tell that did the mileage it's on. Well, this only done 138, which should be alright, but there is some signs of wear, like the steering wheel's the rubber on the doors. It's rubbed through from getting in and out. I don't think, in my opinion, this is a motorway mileage car mainly. Well, I think my Mercedes is, because there's barely any wear on the seats, etc. But I'm pretty happy, to be honest. In fact, I'm not just pretty happy, I'm very happy for the price. So, provided it doesn't, do anything strange on the drive back. Money, figures. I paid hammer price 3,200. I don't know exactly, but Lewis will get it up on the screen. I think I'm in it for like 3,580 something, so let's call it 3,600. I know it's less than that, so it's 3,500 something. I think retail is 6,200. I thought if this is terrible and I want to like just sell it cheap with whatever faults it may have, you could easily get like 4,990 for it, like 5 grand, just under 5 grand. So I was pretty happy with what I want it at. Just I could make a little bit on top for the hassle, but if it's as good as it's staying at the moment, I will want to retail it. So obviously I don't think my warranty covers a load on cars of this mileage, because I don't normally do it. But am I worried about it being high mileage and whether it will sell? Not really. I don't call this too high mileage. I think these engines are okay. I'll be honest, I'm not I don't know loads about the BMW side of engines, but there are a lot of people out there, so I don't know which engine this has and whether it's any good. But to me, from like if I was just a buyer, I think this presents good enough value that it should sell, A newer shape, I call it newer shape, 3 Series. Nice colour, good spec, sat-nav and heated seats and whatnot. I know the heated seats are a good option, because when I have looked at 3 Series, not all of them have it. It always surprised me with the Mercedes that I ended up buying. I think it's standard in an AMG line, but these, there was so many without the heated seats. It was annoying, because that's like a must for me. I love my heated seats. So for 6 grand, this might go up at 5,990. Decent margin in it, hopefully not a whole lot of work. I think it needs an MOT in some point this year, but I put 12 months on everything advisory free. It only had 1 advisory last year for a tyre, I think. I need to have a double check that, but I know it only had 1 advisory, and it wasn't major, because otherwise I wouldn't have bid on it. For 5,990, this presents good value to me. I'll take one look at this. I like the colour, I like the spec, drives well. Okay, it's slightly higher mileage, but I think with these it doesn't really bother people. People just want whatever looks the newest and nicest for the cheapest possible, I suppose. But yeah, very happy with it. I suppose next time you'll hear from me, it'll either be dropped off at the valeter's, or if I break down, I suppose. But pretty happy with it. I will give it some beans on the motorway, see if it does anything strange, and I'll turn the camera back on. But it just seems pretty honest for an essential check UK CGR we buy any car trade thing. So Lewis has informed me that apparently I have an under tray flapping around. It's not the end of the world, but I can hear it. And there's people getting out of the way. Apparently it looks like it's going to fall off. So I think he's trying to get some B-roll footage of it. If that's the biggest problem on the rest of the journey home, then I'll be a happy man. So we're a few miles away. Just going to turn off the motorway in a minute. It's been fairly uneventful. I built this up in my head last night to just going to be terrible. I hadn't bought an essential check or a BMW in so long with like high-ish mileage. I just avoid it like the plague. Then you know, I just worried myself to think there's got to be a reason this was in auction and I won it that cheap. Maybe it's gone through a few times and I didn't see it the first time and I'm getting shafted, but you know, it's been perfect, to be honest. It's actually been alright, apart from the under tray flapping about, which is fine, that can be sorted. It's been good. So I'm going to bring it to the valeters, probably finish the video in a couple of days when I'm back, and get it up for sale, put the plates on it, then we'll talk about final figures and margins and finish off the video. But I'm very pleased. It's not even that dirty as well. Normally I've been scarred by old BMWs, like older ones. When I did cheap cars, they were the worst. So like the older, like 2009 1 Series, I bought one back like 3 times. It was crippling me. So like I said, I'll never buy BMWs again, but to be honest, like I've bought 2 since this is the second one. I did a 1 Series not long ago, 15 plate one, that was lovely. Didn't have any issues, that's gone out. I'm still in the period of being his dad. I think I sold it like 2 months ago, but I haven't heard anything back from it and it was all right. And then this is the other one, so maybe the new one's all right. Someone did tell me, no, the new ones are okay, but I just, in my mind, every time I got in the older BMWs I used to sell that were like 80, 90k, but like from 2009, they were absolutely filthy. No one ever looks after them. They had no service history, always part X to me as well, with issues. You just hear that stupid bing bong noise every time you fucking get in. There'll be a fucking car on the ramp on the dash, because there always is, and it's either orange or red. Same with the older minis, just never had any luck. So these last 2 BMWs, I suppose, have changed my mind. I know it's still got time to f it up, but you know, if it's made it this far, I'll call it even. But fucking hell, he just fucking sorry, someone just nearly drove into me and he's telling me, oh, what the f***? He just merged 3 lanes without looking and can't see me in his blind spot. Fucking hell. Well, anyway, I'll see you in a couple of days when it's valeted and up for sale. So BMW is up for sale fully, full advert photos. I'm sure you've got some B-roll now. It's lovely, looking nice, and valeted. I think last time we left it I was pleasantly surprised with it, and I still am. And so is Lewis now he's driven it. Seems a pretty big bargain. It owes me £3,643.96. That's after auction fees, and we went and got it ourselves. I've currently, I think retail on it's £6,190. I've got it up at 5,990 because on the front bumper just underneath there's some damage, and it's also the reason for that flappy under tray. I imagine if someone wants me to sort that little bit of cracking on the bumper out, I will charge them full retail. If then, you know, you barely see it with the naked eyes you see on the photos. If not, they can have it for just under £6,000. That means at 5,990 we have £2,346.04 in it to get an advisory free MOT on it, service it. After VAT and stuff, I should be making 1,500 quid from it, which is about where I want to be. To me, it's higher mileage than I normally deal with, but under my warranty company, it doesn't cover a whole lot, so I will make that clear just because of the mileage. But it presents good value. I kind of deal in, you know, anything that looks good enough value, and after driving it all the way back and whatnot, it seemed very nice. It said it only had 1 key as well, didn't it? I've got another key for it. I think it might need a battery because it's not working, but that's fine. And it said it only had 4 services. It's got 8 because he didn't scroll down on the wheel. Just like he didn't know to scroll down on the iDrive system. 8, and then we'll do another one, so 9. So it's good part history. It's not full, I guess, for the mileage. But yeah, very happy with it, very clean. I can't imagine it'll be sticking around too much, especially that kind of value. So yeah, very pleased with it. If they're all like that, that'd be good. Apart from it made me have a bit of a sleepless night before, because for some reason in my head I was just convinced it was going to be a pile of shit. Someone asked in the comments, why do I hate BMWs? Really, it's come from dealing with 2009 1 Series. That's literally it. I've had like 5 of them that come in part X, or I bought from auction, bad idea. They all are green, and they stink of smoke. There's like fizzy drink just spilled everywhere. They stink.
They're not looked after. There's every light on the dash. They're making that stupid little bong noise that all BMWs do. It needs a service. Because like stereotypically for me, especially 1 Series, like older 1 Series, I'm not going to generalize to everyone, but everyone I've been Part X to, I've probably had 5 or 6 of them, they're just not looked after. They're too old to the point where I think people don't care. So they'd like, you get first time drivers driving around in their 1.6s or whatever, like paying God knows how much for insurance, thinking, oh, I've got a BMW, and it's like, and they just don't know what servicing is. Everything's like, the last one I had, like handbrake light was on constantly, and then we fixed it, but then for some reason, when the handbrake was on, the light wasn't on. What else was wrong with it? It was like leaking coolant, overheated, just loads of things. It was dirty. It had orange seats, which was weird. It was like a 116i Sport, weird special edition. I had loads of calls on it. But like, I think that's where I'm scarred from the older BMWs. I've done since then, when I said I won't buy any more BMWs, we did a 2015 1 Series. Yeah. That was nice. Didn't have any issues really, apart from someone crashed it into another car and we had to paint the whole side of a DS4, but never mind. That's Lewis behind the camera if you don't know. I walked downstairs and he looked guilty as and he'd accidentally swiped the side of one of the cars on the forecourt. But in fairness, the mirror wasn't on it at the time, so came behind him rather than because there's no mirror. Anyway, no, I said, and then this is the second one I've done, and both, to be fair, have been okay. So maybe I should change my opinion on it. And even driving that white one back, apart from someone nearly crashing into me, it seemed all right, you know. So I will probably buy more of the newer generation ones. I think if they're new enough, I feel like they're not to the point where young people have got their hands on or modified them or whatever, you know. I'll tell you what, if I painted those wheels black, someone would buy it straight away. But I hate black wheels, so I refuse. I don't get why people like black wheels. You can't see anything, it's just like black. And then if you paint it gloss black, you need tyre shine. And if you don't have tyre shine, which is like most of the time, it looks shit because your tyres are all dirty and then you get black. Anyway, rant over, complete pointless. Happy with this BMW. So that's another one for my good books at least. I feel pretty safe retailing it, even though it's high mileage, way higher mileage than I normally do, but I kind of won it accidentally and thought, oh, well, at least make a video. So yeah, and it did, but didn't cause the drama we thought it would. So cool, happy with that. Yeah.